And we are live. This is Travis from Carter Cal Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the forex market. And obviously, this is another episode of Trade with Travis, episode 270. Thanks for everyone being able to pop into the live stream. For the people that end up watching this a little bit later on, I do appreciate you being able to watch. Obviously, as we're going through, March has been. Typically, we end up saying March is one of those movement months. You talk about getting into April and May. Typically, you see the market kind of slow down in April. But talking about that May, June push towards the summertime, we're really kind of seeing what's happening overall, even though that the market is kind of being in consolidation. So we kind of see how everything kind of played out, plus more as we go through the disclaimer. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from the education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. And understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you can end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through and kind of put everything else together, what I'm going to do is show myself onto the screen, and I am going to end up showing the economic calendar, kind of be able to get everything else going on with that. Want to make sure that I end up saying hey to everybody. Please let me know if my sound is good when it comes down to everything that we end up getting done. Obviously, as we are putting everything else in place to be able to go ready. So, um, give me one quick second. I just want to make sure that I can make sure that everybody is able to see what we're doing. Let's see. Perfect. Okay. I'll move this over to this side and move that over to that side. All right. Cool. So just do me a favor. If you are live, when you are live, just make sure that you can be able to let me know if my sound is good. And let's go ahead and get started. So today, what's happening? We have the President Lagarde is going to end up speaking at 12:30, and then after that we have consumer price index for month to month and year to year for the Canadian dollar. Uh, the rest of the week is going to end up being pretty heavy when it comes down to a lot of stuff. We have interest rate decisions that's coming in tomorrow. Plus, we end up having the interest rate decision from the pounds on Thursday, and then on Friday, obviously, we end up having durable goods and a few other things, retail sales that's coming out for the Canadian dollar. So I know that March has been a 5 week type of movement, type of deal. Typically, we don't get 5 weeks in a actual trading month, but this is typically one of those longer trading months overall. And we can see that it's truly affecting how the market has been running when it comes down to that. But um, in the comments, let me know how you've been doing for what you're trading. And we're going to start off with Bitcoin because that's the first thing that ended up popping up on my screen. Yes, last week and really before then, we've been talking about how Bitcoin has broken into this unfair market price area. It said that as soon as it broke past 25,000, then we expected that it's going to go up to 29. You need to have your orders in before that price actually ends up hitting. I do expect that Bitcoin is probably going to end up running up to 29,000 overall. We take a look at what's happening based off of a 2 hour perspective. We can see that the market has just been slowly grinding up to that point, and even though it is in consolidation, we're in a bullish area right now, and I do believe that the market will get up to 29,000 somewhat soon. The question is it going to reject? How is it going to end up pushing? What's going to end up being a phase when it comes down to that? But 29,000 is definitely on the horizon. Just keep that in mind as you go through your overall trading day. The question is, should you be looking at being able to get in right now? The answer is wait. I would say wait until the market ends up either hitting support falling down to support right around 27,000 again. If that does happen, or let's see, that's been like consolidation on top of consolidation. So let me rephrase that real quick. From a 15-minute perspective, the market has hit more times right around 26,650. I don't think it's going to fall down that low, at least not yet. So uh, we're in this small little range inside of here. I'm going to change that color so everybody can be able to see it. Let's go with a light blue. Uh, and currently, right now, um, if I'm going to end up making any orders, try to make orders below 28,000 to see if you can be able to get in if you do get that value when it comes down to that. But overall, the people that have been trading this should have been trading this since either 22,000, 16,000, or 25,000 when it comes down to those numbers. You said it was going to run and it has started to run. Let's take a look at what's happening with the United States dollar index. For the people that are live right now, for the people that are watching right now, once again, I want to say thank you for being able to pop in. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all popping in. Let me know if my sound is good, and we will go from there. Uh, US dollar, we'll take a look at it from a daily perspective. Uh, also, give me one more second. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. See if I can catch everybody. All right, so United States dollar index, what's happening? Yesterday we ended up talking about seeing this market kind of start to be able to fall, be able to have a little bit of retracement. Um, but looking at this right now, just from a perspective of this kind of taking a step back and just looking at it overall, but you kind of take a look at what's happening with this overall year. Um, back in November, back in early November, we end up having the market end up pushing up toward 13,000. Then after that, you fell towards 12,626. Currently, right now, we end up seeing the market push up past 13,000, and then after that, reject again. And I'm not going to say that my fear is that the market is going to end up doing something like this. We push up back down and then go back down to this level, but it's not out of the realm that it may not happen. That it may happen when it comes down to that movement. It wouldn't be surprising if it does. But overall, kind of like what I said yesterday, I wanted to see how the market kind of reacted when it came down to consolidation. It broke support, and at this particular time, it has a retest at this point, kind of working. And the 2 hour perspective is in the sell zone, which means that it's telling us that the market may end up falling again. If we're looking at it from that perspective, and we go back to what's happening from a long term perspective for the weekly, the weekly is telling us that it should be selling off. The daily is telling us um, we take a look at what's happening with the daily. The daily is basically back in the buy zone from this overall movement, from this overall high of being in the sell zone. It would not surprise me that the market either consolidates a little bit or continues to start moving overall based off of what's going to happen tomorrow and not today. I would say tomorrow and not today when it comes down to that news. Just make sure that you keep that in mind. The market may end up having a bigger push tomorrow and not today when it comes down to that overall downside movement overall when it comes down to that. But from a 2 hour perspective, it wouldn't surprise me if the market has somewhat of a push today after this rejection and then falls. The question is it going to end up consolidating right here at the overall low or starting to make a push and then after that kind of faking out and then starting to consolidate? Remember, the day before FOMC is typically one of those times where we're not going to end up getting like major moves. Uh, we'll probably end up seeing one slight little push, and then after that, you end up having moves that you have to be able to take advantage of the day after the fact. So that's where we're at right now at this current point. I want to see how the market kind of reacts off of this area, but it would not surprise me one bit if the market kind of slows down today in anticipation on what's going to happen tomorrow over time. Okay, so there goes my thought process. That makes me not want to do anything when it comes down to this trade as of yet. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Uh, U.S. oil. It took us a long time to be able to take the U.S. oil trade, but uh, ended up taking profit off of it. Market ended up getting all the way down to the 64 level, 64.10 level. Was able to take profit inside of this yellow zone. We knew that there could be a chance of the market kind of popping back up to the upside. Uh, but this was a one of those trades to where it took us a very long time to be able to get to it. but it finally ended up hitting profit when the market ended up hitting 64.37. Uh, it just took so darn long to be able to trade it. It was just being honest, but uh, from a 2 hour perspective, the market is basically retracing back up. It would not surprise me if the market gets up towards $70 per barrel. Uh, if you're one of those people that like to be able to trade retracements based off of this movement, we do have a large counter trend line break that has happened up to the upside right here. The thing is, are we going to end up seeing another retracement first before being able to make that move before the market kind of slows down and consolidates again back up to the upside? Currently, right now, I would not do anything off of this movement unless you end up catching it on that sale the last time that we end up taking it. It's not the best time to be able to jump in on oil right now at this point. Uh, let's go to gold. Gold, as far as just trading in general, has been, um, for the most part, from all of the people that I've talked to, have been the pair to be able to trade this year. Um, We end up getting that push towards 1957. The market ended up pushing up towards 2000. Currently, right now, we end up having an indecision candlestick yesterday. I think more of that is an anticipation on what's going to end up happening going into tomorrow. But if we look at it from a weekly perspective, we have a counter trend line break with a full movement to the upside. The market is broken to B. The only thing that you should be looking at this point is only buying. If we're being very honest. So that means that when we take a look at it from a daily perspective, we want to see that the market is in the buy zone. Currently, right now, the market's in the sell zone, which makes this the system untradeable right now at this particular point. I just want to see how the market kind of gives us a little bit of a retracement first, and then after that, look at being able to get in once that happens. But currently, right now, we're talking about, is this the right time to be able to jump into a gold move right now? The answer is no. I will wait. I'll wait a few more days to see how the market kind of reacts. Obviously, because it's in the sell zone on the daily. Talking about 7 to 11 candlesticks of retracement before anything happens, and I'm gonna wait that out and kind of see how that kind of reacts. So gold, nothing at this particular point. US 30. Let's see what's happening with US 30. So we literally talked about this yesterday, um, and the thought process that we've seen that. Matter of fact, before we talk about US 30, let's talk about Nas 100 and the reason why I said that the market was going to have a pop up to the upside yesterday compared to a movement to the downside. Uh, It's always been said if you end up taking a look at one pair, more than likely it'll tell you about what's happening with the other one. If you take a look at what's happening with Nas 100, Nas 100, remember it broke out to the upside on Friday, and then after that had that big push. It made a double bottom, which we have it circled right here. And then after that, had that big push to the upside, broke above this area, and we said that the next area what you want to be able to get out at, or the next area that possibly we want to be able to trade is the little gap that we end up having in between. That happened. We had that big freeway worth of movement on this large pop up to the upside uh, based off this unfair market price from here to here. Um, from there to there. Market ended up pushing up, blowing past an overall level, and then after that, obviously the market started to consolidate a little bit. Now, why did I bring that up? Because yesterday when we took a look at what was happening with US 30, the market was down here and made that little low at the beginning of the day. The rest of the time throughout that day, the market ended up pushing up right around 1,000 points to the upside to be able to retest this overall low that we ended up talking about before. So there goes our retest right here in this portion. Um, it's just that it's one of those times that I did not take one of those moves. I did not take the trade because I believe that the market overall was still going to be considered to be bearish. But remember if the United States dollar index is going to end up being bearish, then that means that the indexes are going to end up being bullish. They have a negative correlation. So that's the reason why we end up taking a look at that move. And I kind of suggested that we were probably going to see an upside move based off of what happened off of Nas 100 last week. So it was an easy trade to be able to take a look at just by being able to pay attention to what happened with other pairs. But it wasn't one of those ones that I took advantage of because it was in consolidation when that happened, and I did not catch it at the support. I seen it as support, but I did not catch it as support. So at this particular moment, we have a retest of this large consolidation box that we end up taking a look at. They end up happening for almost 2 months now. It's retesting this from the backside of this overall movement. The question is, if it blows through this inside of 32,575, then that means that we have a huge opportunity of being able to see this market push up at least back up to the 3,400 area or 3,300 area uh, with ease if that happens. But uh, going back to what's happening tomorrow, I think that today is going to be a slow day. I think that tomorrow can end up being a heavy news traded day. So we kind of see how that kind of plays out. I'm pretty much done when it comes down to most of the pairs. There's not much opportunities. We already done took cash on most of our pairs or most of our positions. The question that I'm going to have to everybody that's watching is there a pair that y'all would like for me to take a look at? Is there a pair that y'all would like for me to evaluate real quick before we get out of here? I'm going to wait for a little bit just to be able to see what people say. While y'all doing that, I'm going to go on Bloomberg and see what they're saying. And then after that, I'm going to go on CNBC and see what they're saying. And then after that, we'll call it a day. Advanced big fears. Okay, I don't see anything when it comes down to that. CNBC. I don't see anything when it comes down to that. What's going on, CMJ? Let's see. Okay, I don't see anything with that one either. So I'm going to go ahead and call it today. We'll see how everything kind of plays out today. Remember, today's probably not going to be the big day. Tomorrow probably going to end up being the bigger day when it comes down to movement. But please keep your eyes open. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I'll see each and every one of y'all in the next video. Take it easy.